The so-called Age of Exploration was a period from the early 15th century and continued into the early 17th century, during which time European ships were traveling across the world to search for new trading routes and partners. This was a great time of economic growth and prosperity. The Columbian Exchange was a major part of the Age of Exploration, after Columbus in 1942 discovered the Americas. Because of his discovery, trade routes appeared across the Atlantic Ocean for access to sugarcane, potatoes, horses, sheep, and many other new resources. One of the more tragic parts of this expansion in trade was the increase in slaves across the world. Smallpox, a rather common disease in Europe that normally would be no problem to Europeans, was a huge epidemic for the Native Americans. Estimates of mortality rates resulting from the smallpox epidemics range from 38.5% for the Aztecs, 50% for the Piegan, Huron, Catawba, Cherokee, and Iroquois, 66% for the Omaha and Blackfeet, 90% for the Mandan, and 100% for the Taino. Smallpox epidemics affected the demography of the stricken populations for 100 to 150 years after the initial first infection. The triangular trade was great for Europeans. The ocean winds worked perfectly for them to use, forming a triangle to get to each area that they needed to get to. The best winds from Europe would bring ships south to the coast of Africa, where they would capture slaves and repay the other Africans with goods, such as copper, cloth, beads, and especially guns. The next leg of the journey, also known as the Middle Passage, brought the ships, which were now filled to the brim with African slaves, west to the New World. Once there, the slaves would be traded for American crops such as sugar, tobacco, and cotton, which they would finally bring back east to Europe. And over again, the cycle went.